Alright, a new Marvel movie is in theaters, and I'm super excited about this one because after so many years, we're finally going to see the long-awaited return of... Hey, wait a doggone minute, this ain't the event. What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of the Porter Report. My name is BJ Porter, and I hope everybody is having a marvelous day today. For all of my returning viewers, it is wonderful to see you all again, and for all my first-timers out there, welcome, and we hope you enjoy everything that this video and channel has to offer. Summer movie season 2025 is officially underway, and I'm here to deliver to you guys the first Porter Report movie review of the season. This segment allows me to share my thoughts and opinions about the movies that I see and enjoy, and those that you do as well. The movie we're going to talk about today closes Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and features a major assembling. However, this assembling is pretty unorthodox to say the least, but trust me, it is vastly important to what is on the horizon. Today I'm giving you guys the official review for Thunderbolts, directed by Jake Schreier and starring Florence Pugh, David Harbour, Hannah John Kamen, Wyatt Russell, Sebastian Stan, Louis Pullman, and as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, Miss Julie Louis-Dreyfus. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. Out of the 3 Marvel movies that were set to drop this year, Thunderbolts was at the bottom of my list in terms of anticipation. Do not get it twisted, I was excited for every single Marvel movie that was set to come out this year. But compared to the other 2 movies on the slate, this one didn't generate as much hype for me personally. That of course changed when a certain video from Marvel Studios revealed that this collection of characters is going to be pretty important to another movie that is set to drop in a little under a year from now. However, it isn't lost on me that there was one person from this movie that was missing from that cast list. Regardless of the implications that this movie will have on the MCU as we transition out of Phase 5, the only question that matters is this. Is this team truly worth rooting for in the MCU? Or are these guys just a bunch of cheap knockoffs and stand-ins for characters that we actually would rather see? Well, I guess the only way to find out is to just dive right in and talk about it. Without further ado, here's the Porter Report movie review for Thunderbolts.
The nations of the world are desperate for heroes. The absence of the Avengers has left an indelible mark that is becoming increasingly harder to ignore. Confident in her ability to fix the problem at large, Valentina Allegra de Fontaine sets in motion her plan to fill the void that has been left by Earth's mightiest heroes. Sensing the underhanded intentions of the woman trotting around as America's next great savior, recently elected Congressman James Buchanan Barnes recognizes that whatever contingency plan Fontaine could be cooking up could be more dangerous and unstable than her and her supporters realize. Knowing the risk at large but left with no other options, Bucky recruits a ragtag group of criminals, miscreants, and assassins to be the alternative. The unwilling volunteers include Natasha Romanoff's estranged sister Yelena Belova, disgraced Captain America mantle holder John Walker, ex-Hydra sleeper agent Ava Starr, and former Russian alternative to Captain America Alexei Shostakov aka Red Guardian. As this unconventional group of down-on-their-luck mercenaries faces a dangerous new adversary whose uncontrollable thirst for destruction threatens to consume New York, they must all put aside their differences and confront the challenge ahead as well as their own inner demons, and show the world that even though they may not be super or technically heroes, they won't give up when it comes to stepping up and being what the world needs. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is moving quickly towards the culmination of its eventful yet tumultuous multiverse saga that will see a highly anticipated reassembling set to transpire this time next year. But before that can happen, director Jake Schreier leads an assembling of his own, but not quite the one that people were expecting. Thunderbolts sees a vast collection of colorful yet morally messy characters thrown together to be heroes in a time where hope is needed now more than ever. After teaming up with Marvel's mosh pit of juvenile rejects, Thunderbolts is a throwback when it comes to what makes the MCU so special. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is at its best when it can mix grand-scale spectacle with deeply nuanced characters. While Phase 5 has had its fair share of tribulations, Thunderbolts manages to do what a lot of predecessors in Phase 5 have struggled with. The movie feels like a much smaller scale MCU entry, but it's that reduced scale that allows the story to be more focused and uncluttered. The film's ensemble is without a doubt its strongest element, with every member of the cast giving their all. However, if we're going to talk about performances, there are plenty of gold stars to go around. Our leading lady Florence Pugh continues to remind everyone why she is a powerhouse on-screen presence. Picking up right where she left off following her scene-stealing debut in 2021's Black Widow, Pugh's Yelena delivers her signature charm and sarcastic wit, but with even more emotional depth. Pugh's ability to deliver Yelena's deadpan sense of humor that truly hides her crippling isolation and brokenness is nothing short of spectacular. The arc the character goes on is relatable and deeply deeply moving, creating a strong sense of connection to not just who she shares the screen with, but also with the audience. The MCU struck gold with Pugh, and I'm excited to see where she takes the character as we head into the next phase. As for the other players, David Harbour is the gift that keeps on giving. Every moment he is on screen is pure elation and joy as his comedic aura guarantees laughs. In addition to that, the heartfelt moments he exhibits are just as impactful, specifically his moments with Yelena that end up being some of the film's best. Shifting over to the other members of the Thunderbolts, Wyatt Russell is a standout as John Walker in his MCU big screen debut. The film really doubles down on him being a jaded cynic who takes out his frustrations on those around him. While most of his character work was done on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Russell still manages to make Walker equal parts despicable yet endearing. Anna John Kamen and Sebastian Stan are equally strong additions to the ensemble, with Kamen playing off her castmates brilliantly, and Stan's return as Bucky being a solid representation of how much the character has grown, learned, and changed throughout his history in the heroverse. Julie Louis-Dreyfus's Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is as deliciously devious as ever with her snake-like charm and ability to BS her way out of any situation and make it work to her advantage. She is quickly becoming a strong presence in the MCU, and I'm eager to see what's in store for the character next. But in all honesty, we cannot talk about performances without singing the praises of Lewis Pullman as Sentry. For a character that is arguably one of the most powerful individuals in the MCU, the emotional depth he displays is so layered, allowing him to be more than just an indestructible being. Pullman pulls off the jitteriness, awkwardness, and meekness of Bob well, and is also equal parts haunting and scary as Bob's alter ego, the Void. It's a performance that packs an emotional punch while truly nailing the film's messaging and commentary. It is that very messaging that makes Thunderbolts such a refreshing addition to the modern MCU. Some of the best entries in the heroverse are always able to create thought-provoking discussion topics while also delivering on the spectacle. Whether it's the dangers of isolationism, giving way to radicalized militarization found in Black Panther, or the consequences of forfeiting your right to choose, thus putting your fate in the hands of agenda-driven power establishments as seen in Captain America Civil War, Marvel creates its best work when it delivers compelling stories coupled with relatable characters. And thankfully, Thunderbolts manages to be just that. The movie has a lot to say about loneliness, depression, sense of hopelessness, guilt, regret, trauma, and the dangers of succumbing to nothingness. It is a timely message that reminds everyone that the best thing to do is to stop burying the darkness and pain deeper into you. For if you do, it could consume you and everyone around you as a result. You yourself have the power to fight it and retake your joy, your sense of purpose, your sense of self, and your life as a whole. This is one of the elements that makes Thunderbolts such a strong entry in the MCU, and I'm thrilled that so much nuance was found in this film in the midst of all the action and laughs. Speaking on that, for all its refreshing layers and depth, Thunderbolts is still an all-out blast to watch. The action is fast, visceral, and just downright fun from beginning to end. The cinematography and choreography make each set piece gritty and grounded, all while character banter elevates the scenes. It isn't as large scale as, say, an Avengers movie, but I believe that it works perfectly to its advantage. It is that very smaller and more intimate approach to the story that allows for the film to be not as busy or confusing as other MCU entries that preceded it. While the film does have some slow moments that do affect its pacing, for the most part, it is still such a good time while delivering so much more under the surface. All in all, Thunderbolts feels like a throwback to the MCU of old with strong action and nuanced narrative depth. It has a great balance of spectacle, humor, and emotion that make it more than just a fun popcorn flick. The movie is a strong ending to the current phase of the MCU and also gives us a collection of compelling characters that we genuinely want to see more of. It's an unexpected team-up that had the odds stacked against it, but it reminds us what this heroverse is capable of when it has its heart and mind in the right place.
If you would have told me going into this year that Thunderbolts would end up being one of the best movies in Marvel Phase 5, I seriously would have doubted you. Yet here I am telling you, Thunderbolts is one of the best movies in Marvel Phase 5. A little bit of 2012 Avengers, with a sprinkle of the scum and villainy vibes of Guardians of the Galaxy, and you got a movie that delivers on style and substance. As far as what the film sets up for the future, there is a lot to think about on that front. But if there is one thing I will say after seeing this movie, let's just say I now fully understand why these guys are going to be in Doomsday. And for the sake of spoilers, I'm just going to leave it at that. But trust me, we're going to discuss this new team's role in the heroverse in due time. Can't give away all the surprises, right? On that note, the time has come to throw it to you guys. Sound off in the comments below your thoughts about Thunderbolts, but be mindful of things that could potentially be seen as a spoiler. While this phase in the MCU may be ending, I'm super excited about what's coming in the next phase, which I'm sure is going to be fantastic. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel for continuing coverage and videos regarding all movies dropping during the 2025 summer movie season. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to stop on by. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day, and until the next review, I'm BJ Porter, and this has been the Porter Report.